tonight, huh? Go. Come on, you.
Golly, Batman! What's wrong? Why the long face? I just had a chat with the commissioner, and it seems he needs our help. There's a crime wave going on in the city. All the motorcycles have gone missing. Gee whiz, Batman! What are we gonna do about it? And I have a sketchy idea of who might be behind this. So we better hurry. Robin, to the bat cycle. What the? Come on. Holy fried charging system, Batman. It won't start. What? Damn it. I told Alfred not to leave the bike sitting there without running it every once in a while. Just push it back in the back cave and call Slick. Dear Alfred, your services are no longer needed here at Wayne Enterprises. You suck as a mechanic. From this day forward, Slickhead Custom Cycles is going to manage the fleet. So, you're fired. And by the way, take that skank Batgirl with you. I heard about her and Robin. And P.S. Robin's fired too. Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. Slick here in the Slickhead Garages. I just want to apologize that you had to sit through that corny little intro with Batman. I don't know who those dorks were playing Batman and Robin, but I do gotta say, Hippie playing the Moto Burglar, he stole the show. That was a great performance. But the reason I did the Batman intro is because every time I look at this bike, the 1977 Xlcr Cafe Racer, I think Bat Cycle. It looks like the Bat bike. You know, it just looks like something Batman would ride. I know that this was never a Bat Cycle. They never used this for the Bat bike. Fun fact, the first Bat Cycle they ever used back in the 60s on the TV show was a 1965 Panhead with a sidecar, and it was black and Robin rode in it. So look it up. I had to dig up that information. It's pretty cool. It's a shame that this bike wasn't around back in the 60s because it would have made a great Bat bike. All right, so this episode is going to be about the Xlcr. For those of you that know my channel and you've been here before, you know that every bike that comes into my shop before any kind of repair or service work, I like to give it a quick wipe down, just a little cheap detail job. And yeah, it's funny because I was talking to a new friend of mine on YouTube. His name is Gus from This Old Chopper. And Gus brought up a topic about cleaning your motorcycle. And Gus, while he was cleaning his bike, he came across a loose bolt there on his chain sprocket. So it brought up a good point, and I had to jump in his comments and talk to him that, you know, I get made fun of a lot from a lot of my tough guy friends that say, oh, I ride my bike, I don't clean it, you know. I have a lot of those friends, and I won't mention their names, Zuber. But you know, I get made fun of about that for cleaning my bikes all the time. But I'll tell you, I have found numerous problems while cleaning my bike. It helps you find problems and avoid roadside mishaps if you're cleaning your bike regularly. You'll find loose wires or loose nuts and bolts, stuff like that, just like Gus did. I mean, that could have been catastrophic, what happened to Gus there. So it's a good find while you're just cleaning your bike. It only takes 15 minutes, wipe it down, and you'll see something. You might see a loose bolt, a broken wire, a loose wire, something you don't have to deal with out on the road. So anyway, so what we're going to do is I'm going to detail this bike real quick, and then we'll go over it. We're going to go over it and talk about it. So let's go over a few other updates before we get on with this. So the shirt, I'm just about out of the shirt, guys. I only have 4 shirts left. I have 2 4XLs and I have 2 2XLs. I'll be getting another batch of shirts in like 2 months from now. So I'll have all the sizes you could dream of. So if I don't have your size now, you can just wait. I'll have some more in a couple more months. There's other ways to support the channel. You could become a Xlcr Savage member. There's a membership you can join. It's $5 a month. That gives you some kind of perks. I forget them off the top of my head right now. It's listed down in the description. There's a link for it if you wanted to join. There's that. I'll get the shirts going. I want to get some other products like some beer koozies, stuff like that. But all right, let me show you a little update what's going on with Vic's Panhead, and we'll get to cleaning this girl. All right, for those of you that watched my last video, flat out on flatheads, I couldn't be more happier than the way Vic's 57 45-inch flathead turned out. It's a flathead G motor. This motor belongs in a Survey car, so don't tell me they didn't make flatheads in 1957. They didn't make a flathead solo bike, they made a Survey car, so understand that. But anyway, I couldn't be more happier than the way it turned out. The thing is running great. If you guys watched the video, you know. She did good. Now let me just show you the Panhead. Oh, and that's my boy Hippie, Hippie's Chopper Corner. For those of you who don't know, go check him out on YouTube. And while we're at it, Ralphie from It's My Time, Let's Go. Go check him out too. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Ralphie for giving me a shout out in his last video with the wingsuit. That video was awesome. I loved it. He was setting world records in aviation. It's a pretty cool video. You guys got to check it out. But my bike ran great that day. Loved it. She did good. Anyway, the reason I'm over here. So anyway, I got the brand new BDL friction plates for Big Twin. So I cleaned this whole area out, got all the oil out of here, cleaned it all up, dried it all up, cleaned the basket up real good. It's all nice and clean. Took 1000 grit sandpaper and sanded down some of the little indents in the fingers here. So here's the new friction plates. I just got to put them in and then set up the clutch and go for a ride. But they're running nice and free. I can't do this with one hand. Anyway, you just have to take my word for it. I can't do this with one hand. Maybe I can do this. But you go in and out nice and freely. What you do have to do is all the aftermarket companies, they come different sizes and whatnot. So these diameters, when I first put them in, they're just a little bit snug. So they tell you even in the directions, just take a rat file and knock it down a little bit. You know, give it a little quick file to make it nice and free. I had to do the same with the steel plates. Take a file to these areas, just a little bit, just to get them to float in there nice and freely. Again, can't do this with one hand, people. Sorry. Give me 1 second. This is stupid. Let me just put this down. Sorry about this. I need a cameraman. So these go in and out nice and freely. Hold on, let me get them going. When you get them straight. That's how they're supposed to ride. Sorry about the horrible camera work. So I will put them in. I will set up the pressure plate sometime this week, hopefully. Then go through the mousetrap and then take this bad boy for a test ride. I had one of my old riding buddies come over, Zuber. I already spoke about him. We used to ride hardcore together. He came over, hung out with me one night, and he was teaching me some things on the lathe. We were going over parting stuff. You know, just going over little tasks and stuff like that for making spacers and top hat bungs and stuff like that. Axle spacers and all that kind of thing. So that worked out good. So if you're watching, Zuber, thank you. Learned a lot. That's about it. Just need to get the clutch back in that pan head and we're ready to go. Take her for a ride. All right, let's get out of here and let's go clean that Ironhead. All right, time to get our detail on. I know this bike already looks beautiful, but I just want to knock the dust off it, clean it all up, any fingerprints, and we'll get busy. Oh, and for those of you that don't even know what I'm doing with this bike, it has a charging issue. It's not charging back to the battery properly, so I got to go over the generator, check the brushes, the armature, commutator, make sure they're not dirty and gummed up or worn out, so I'm going to go over that. Going to test the regulator out. Yeah, stuff like that. See what's going on. And besides the charging issue, Billy also wanted me to dump all the brake fluid. Flush all the brake fluid out of it and bleed it, front and back. So we'll get that done. All right, let's clean this bad girl up. All right, so let's talk about this sexy beast. She is beautiful. Now, for those of you that didn't fall asleep or fast forward my video, you might have noticed that I found something wrong when I was cleaning this girl. The oil pressure sending unit, look, it's missing its nut. Billy doesn't even know that. This bike has only been from his house to my house. Hasn't been started, so can't say it vibrated off. It's been off. Now, it's not a major problem. It wouldn't have caused any mishaps. You just would have been getting a false reading on your oil light up there. So, little problems like this you can find by a quick wipe down. That's all I'm saying. So, Gus, check it out. Me and you will catch little problems. Clean your bikes. You'll find little dumb shit like that. So I'll go ahead and put a little nut and lock washer on there with a little Loctite on there. But she's pretty. Now, this bike, back in the 70s, they only made it 77, 78, and a little bit of 79. There was only 3,000 of them made. And if you don't recognize this bike or don't know about this bike, it's because they weren't very popular. In the 70s, they didn't look cool. It didn't look like a Harley to the purists. So that's why they discontinued making it. Not because of the looks, it also didn't live up to the hype. It was a turd. It looked fast, but it didn't go fast. I mean, look at these pipes. They're cool. They added horsepower. These were also on my stock 79 Ironhead when I got it. Not when I got it, but this was what would have came on it. This little X pipe. It's true dual. I don't know if it's open there or is it welded there. Is there a plate in between it? Not sure. I don't know how it gives you extra oil scavenging effect when it's running to give you more horsepower. I don't know. I don't know all those specs, but it's pretty interesting. Comes around the front here. And then wraps around to the back. Pretty neat. But she's pretty. This is pretty cool. I've never noticed this before. And especially like on my 79, I have the same, my 79 stock oil tank when I got my 79 was a triangle like this. But it didn't have the oil level gauge on it like this one does. And I haven't seen any other AMF Harley in the late 70s that had this on it. If there was, then, you know, I just was unaware of it. Don't quote me. If they were on other oil tanks, let me know. But that's pretty cool. This was interesting. The little caps that they put on regular Ironheads were red. They put black ones on this girl. It's got the typical rocker box oil seepage from this corner. When it's on the kickstand, any oil that's left over up top will then collect in this corner when you put it on the kickstand. So it has nowhere else to go but eventually seep out through the gasket there. It's not a big deal. It's common with Ironheads. What else is different and extraordinary about this bike? Now this ass end, here's the downfall of using fiberglass. This is fiberglass. And with fiberglass, it's prone to cracking, like a spider cracking like that. So that's not cool. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is allegedly an original paint bike from 1977. I like the black crinkle coat. Here's something else that's really cool about this bike, and I can't wait to ride it because the sitting position on this bike is like no other. It's like no other Ironhead because of the rear mid foot pegs. When I say rear, this is the riding position. They put them back here, so you're sitting in a laying down position. Sort of laying down, you know. I sat on it. It feels awesome. I can't wait to ride it. But the pegs are moved way back here, like as if they were using the old brake control tube, the brake lever tube that shot over for the others with the right-hand shift bikes. But anyway, you shift the bike, your feet are here, and look at the gear shifter. Normally, the gear shifter would be here, and the foot peg, the mid peg would be here, and the gear shifter here. But they flipped it around, moved the pegs backwards, so you sit in more of a lay down position. It's pretty cool. Really interesting. And they would have had to do the same thing over here with the brakes. So your brakes normally would be up here. And with my other Ironheads, with other Ironheads I've seen, the plunger is on this side. Now they put it on this side to work the brake, which I got to dump out. Got to flush out all the brake fluid. Now he said that these brake lines are original to the bike. It has the original numbers on it and everything that Harley would have used. So hopefully these ain't collapsed on the inside. You'll have that with older brake lines. How's this back one? There is okay, so it's got a hard line up here. The brake switch up there to a hose on the other side. It's funny, this frame style is very much like the FXR with that triangular frame position. And I don't know, maybe you historians might know, but maybe that's where they got the idea for the FXR frame on the XR 1000s. I'm sure the XR 1000 was probably similar to this. I gotta look at one. This is the Xlcr. Which also brings me to, like, I have manuals, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I got manuals. And I said that in these manuals here, I forget which one has it, I think it's this one here, it has a whole dedicated section to XR 1000 Sportsters. But he has specially made up the 77 Xlcr has its own special manual. Pretty cool. Now I know it's basically the same thing as all the Sportsters engines, but I don't know why they made their own special manual for it. And the carburetor, it's a Keen or Kine or however you pronounce that word. So The other thing that was really cool, the other thing that stands out with this bike is the fairing, which really makes it look like a bat cycle. This fairing, I mean, hell, it got popularized with the Dyna Bros and Jax Teller on Sons of Anarchy with the Dyna with the little fairing like this. Now it's in style. But back when they didn't want this bike, it wasn't in style. It wasn't cool, you know? It's got a points ignition in there. In '79 was the first year that they went electronic ignition on Ironhead Sportsters, because I have one of those. I have a '79 that I chopperized. So that's that. She's real pretty. I have to, so I got to get into the generator and figure out what's going wrong there. Is it bushings? Is it, you know, gummed up commutator, whatever have you. Got to look into that. And the regulator, the regulator, I can't even find it. I think it's probably underneath the fairing here somewhere. Or I got to look it up in the book. I briefly looked, but I didn't see it. It's either under there or it's under the seat somehow. But just at first glance, I can't find the regulator. Then these tires. Billy said these tires were the original tires in '77. And they're still on this bike. And, you know, I mean, they're starting to crack. They're not starting to crack, they are cracked. They're cracking away. I don't know. If I was Billy, I think I would buy a fresh modern set and put them on here and save these tires for one day. If it's just going to like sit up in a museum, you can have it with these tires, the original ones. Now, what's weird is it's a ML 9019. Which you can clearly see is on the frame, the VIN sticker on the frame. So they're correct, but in the book here, it calls them MR. It calls them MJ 9019T. So I don't understand why they do that. Even the back number is just different by like one letter. Well, I have to take his word for it. These are the original ones. So that's that. I got to get into the charging system, fix that. Now I got to put a little nut on there. And then I got to flush out the brake system, the rear reservoir, the front reservoir. And I got a vacuum bleeder, brake tool to suck all the air out of it, put some fresh stuff in for him, and then she's ready to ride. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll see Batman riding this bike. If I get it fixed up for the Batman there, it would be cool to see Batman out there with his cape flapping in the wind riding this thing. We'll see what happens. But she's a real beaut. I am not going to fix this bike in this video. I'm going to save that for next time. I'm going to fix this and the panhead clutch over there in a video together. Because I'm tired. It's the end of the week. I just want to get this out to you guys. But fairing's pretty cool. Little indicators up there. Gen oil and right and left turn signals. I mean, I can see circuit breakers in there. Just got to find the regulator. Man, I still got the stickers on this thing. Who the hell would have stickers on the handlebars still? This day and age. You know, this is hard to find that kind of stuff. But yeah, it'll be cool to run this old turd. The sitting position is wild. I can't wait to show you. Oh, and the air cleaner. Now, I don't know, like this is the original air cleaner, original paint. You can see it just sputtering and cracking away. I don't know if I would continue to run this on there if I was him. I think I would take this off and save it along with them tires and just get it, find one at a swap meet regular and just get it powder coated black so it didn't look so ugly with the cracking all over it. I mean, take that with a grain of salt, because some people would find that awesome, that it's cracking and looking like that, for the purist. But if you wanted to be prettier, I would get it powder coated, just not this one. Save that one. All right, let me put this camera down and we'll get on to it. Take one last look at it. Love the tank. The tank does it for me. The whole bike does it for me. I love it. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here. I want to thank you for watching. The next video, I'll show you what I got fixed on the bat cycle here, and maybe if I can get the charging system fixed for the old Batman there, maybe old Batman will take this thing for a ride. That'll be pretty funny. I'll also get the 64 panhead clutch all installed and set up in the next video, and maybe take that for a ride. That'd be cool. As I said, I'm out of the t-shirts. Not for long. I'll get some more in the next coming month or two. I do have 4 left. I have 2 4Xs and 2 2Xs. But go check out Ralphie at It's My Time, Let's Go, and old Gus up there at This Old Chopper. Them guys are up there in Canada. They got some good content going. Ralph, he's amazing. His machinist abilities and engine building skills, all that stuff. You can learn a lot by watching Ralph. Gus, he's doing some pretty cool and interesting things, building some choppers up there. A Honda CB 750, or he's doing all kinds of things. Go check out Gus. He's pretty funny. Oh, and my boy Hippie behind me over the shoulder there, he told me to tell you guys, I'm sure you probably noticed that he didn't put out a video this week. He just wanted me to tell you guys that he's been busy. He's down in Mexico for medical reasons. Nothing to worry about, nothing too big. But he's down in Mexico for medical reasons. He's having surgery done. He's transitioning. Hold your opinions. Doesn't matter what you feel about that stuff. He's his own man. He can decide what he wants to do, So let him live his life, his new life. But he did tell me to tell you that he'll be putting out a new video next week, and it's going to be pretty cool. He's got something interesting to show you guys. So hang in there for Hippie at Hippie's Chopper Corner. And also, besides the t-shirt, if you want to help me grow and expand this channel and keep it going, you can become one of the first cool kids on the block and become a Slickhead Savage Club member. It's $5 a month, what's that? It gives you some perks and whatnot. But yeah, you can do that if you really want to help out the channel, keep it going, if you like what you see here. But we're going to end it on that note. So stay tuned till next week in the next episode. Later.